In the previous lesson, you learned that comparative biochemistry, analyzing DNA and proteins, allows us to determine the relationships that organisms have between each other. In this lesson, we're going to discuss how biochemical variations, these molecular differences, can be used as an evolutionary clock to trace how long ago two organisms diverged from each other. So if we were to jump back 60 million years ago and trace these mutations at a constant rate, we'd be able to determine just how long ago these organisms diverged from each other. So since there aren't as many differences between humans and chimpanzees, we can determine that we share a more recent common ancestor with each other than we do the other organisms in this diagram. In fact, if we assume that the rate of mutation occurs at a constant rate over time, we can estimate exactly how long ago we diverged from the other organisms on this diagram. This data shows us the percent of selected DNA sequences that match up with a chimpanzee's DNA. We can tell that chimpanzee's DNA matches up 100% with its own DNA. That's a no-brainer. But if we were to analyze our DNA, it matches almost 98% to that of chimpanzees. If we were to take gorillas' DNA, gorillas match up about 97% of the time to chimpanzees. So what does this mean? This means that chimpanzees and humans are more related to each other than they are to gorillas. While there's still a ton of differences between us and other primates that are alive today, there's not as many differences between us, Homo sapiens, in red, and Homo neanderthals in yellow. This diagram shows us the historical migration pattern of species that are related to humans in the past. And scientists have come to believe that the human species came out of Africa, migrated up into Europe, across Asia, crossed the Bering Strait into Alaska, North America, and finally down to South America. And assuming that mutations occur at a constant rate, some scientists claim that by analyzing your DNA, they can determine where your ancestors are from. In fact, there are some genetic companies who, if you pay a small fee, will analyze your DNA and tell you how related you are to people all over the world. And even more exciting, some companies claim to have the ability to compare your DNA and your friend's DNA to determine who is more closely related to other hominid species like Homo neanderthals. Now that you've viewed this lesson's video, complete the following activity to see how DNA analysis can be used as an evolutionary timekeeper and how it can show common ancestry between related organisms.